You're watching GAB with ALisa Profiles on MetroCast Channel 10. Thanks for joining us. Today, we're going to talk to somebody who has a huge passion. And hopefully by the time we're done with this conversation, you will know what your passion is and you will have found inspiration to pursue your passion and share it with other people. So today's profile is all about passion as we talk to lacrosse coach Ken Mcillhenney. We'll tell you more about him and about the girls that he coaches in our community doing big, passionate things when we come back. You're watching GAB with ALisa Profiles on MetroCast Channel 10.
Being your best is all about how you feel inside and out. If you feel good, you look good. Hi, I'm Dawn Campbell. Join me on MetroCast Channel 10 for Be Your Best. I'll show you creative ways to dress for success, give you quick health and fitness tips, and daily ideas for living the life you were meant to live. Be Your Best airs weekdays exclusively on MetroCast Channel 10 and is brought to you by Fitz Auto Mall.
You're watching GAB with ALisa Profiles on MetroCast Channel 10. Thanks so much for joining us. Today, a wonderful guest who has an incredible lifelong passion for the sport of lacrosse. Coach Ken Mcillhenney, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
It really is a lifelong passion for you. You have played lacrosse ever since you were a little person, and now you've brought it and really helped make it bloom in St. Mary's County. So let's talk a little bit, first of all, about the sport of lacrosse, about you, and about what you're doing with your passion. Lacrosse, if I understand correctly, is actually a Native American sport. Originally, that's where it comes from, right?
Yes, Native American sport, born here in the U.S.
And it's funny because at the time of the taping of this interview, is it called the World Cup of Lacrosse? What's it called in lacrosse?
It's the U.S. Lacrosse Championship, and last night the U.S. men beat the Iroquois Nation and are proceeding into the finals right now.
Wow, lacrosse has really grown by leaps and bounds in our country. I know that here in St. Mary's County, my daughter went to Great Mills High School, and she was the first captain of the first girls lacrosse team at Great Mills High School. And then she went on to form and coach a lacrosse team at Westlake High School in Waldorf. And so lacrosse really is still fairly young in St. Mary's County.
Yes, I think it's about a little over 10 years old. When I first got here in '95, the only school that was playing lacrosse was St. Mary's Riken. And then several years later, I think they started it up at Leonardtown and SMAC, and basically started from there. And then for Charles County, they just got into it about 5 years ago. Okay,
well, it's really nice to see it growing because it's opening up a lot of opportunities for a lot of young athletes to learn a new sport, be part of a new activity and a new team. Before we go too far down that road, I want to talk a little bit about you. First of all, I think you can just see your whole demeanor change when you talk about lacrosse and about the girls that you coach. You just smile and you're very confident and you're very enthusiastic about it. Let's talk about where you come from. You went through the Naval Academy and so forth?
I grew up on Long Island. I played lacrosse, started just like our St. Mary's County Girls Lacrosse League at a very young age. Got recruited to play at Navy. My brother played at Air Force, and I wanted to go to Air Force, but I didn't get in there. So I ended up going to Navy with my best friend from high school. I played 2 years of JV lacrosse there. Didn't get asked up to play varsity, but that was fine. I was still playing ice hockey while I was there too. So it's been in my blood forever, my family's blood for a long time too.
Oh, that's great. And we do want to mention you also went on to serve for many years in the United States Navy. So thank you for your service. We appreciate that. You can always tell people that just do things what they're supposed to do, don't particularly love talking about themselves, but I was excited to interview you and talk to you about lacrosse and what you've brought to the community and so forth, because you have such a big passion for it. And it's not unusual for parents to help their children go through school, to coach and to walk alongside of them, but you brought lacrosse in because you love it. You don't actually have children that you've coached through. You just love this community. Yeah,
my wife and I, we don't have any kids. I basically started back in 2004, a guy named Mike Roscoe, who I worked for, his daughter played. He had 3 daughters, and it was his older one. And he basically heard that they needed some more coaches at Leonardtown. So I was like, okay, I don't know much about the girls' game. So I did a little research on it, and I just kind of said, okay, well, the fundamentals are about the same. Maybe I can give a little bit of the boys' flair to the game and come, help them out at Leonardtown. So from there, I went and I talked to Mike Denny, who was the second coach at Leonardtown High School, and he was the head coach, and started talking to him. And he was very excited, and said, okay, hey, we got somebody who's played the game before. So I started out as the assistant coach under Laura Oliver, who was the head JV coach. So I coached for her, with her for a couple years. And then in '06 is when I moved up to the varsity as an assistant coach with varsity with Coach Denny and also with Bill Dean, who was there at the time. And then helped them out for a couple years. And then finally, I think it was in '09 is when I took over as the head coach for Mike. And now Mike is my assistant, so the two of us are still there. So Mike's been there the longest. He's been there for 9 or 10 years right now. And it's and I've been there for that many, 1 or 2 years less than him, which I think is what helps us out at Leonardtown with the consistency that we have there.
And consistent it is, and they have a great program, which we're going to delve into in a little bit. For people that may be watching, I think it's interesting that you said you don't know much about girls lacrosse, because the men's lacrosse and women's lacrosse are dramatically different kinds of games.
Yep.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, the girls' game, there's no checking. They wear no pads. The only thing they wear are eye goggles. So it's a much more I guess, finesse game, and if it's played correctly, it really is a pretty game. It's all about the the throwing and the catching, the finesse of the sport. There's not the hitting, there's not the taking out of the guys. So that was one thing we had to learn a little bit. It's just, hey, take it easy. Play footwork, play fast, and then move the ball around. So it's a prettier game than the boys' game, but they're both a lot of fun.
Boys' games are just brutal, amazing, but brutal. Can you explain to me, because I am not an athletic person in any shape or form, what is the physics behind keeping the ball in the net of the stick? How does that happen? Because you see those beautiful passes, they catch them in these little nets and zip down the field.
It's just, they get the ball, it's cradling, keeping the ball cradled in the stick, and it's a good hand-eye coordination, and then, having soft hands, as I call it, so that you can catch it and keep it in that stick and then go downfield with it.
What drew you to continue and to pour so many years into girls lacrosse? It's fun. I mean, I enjoy working with the girls. I enjoy seeing them succeed. I enjoy coaching them. And then, now with as many as I have, close to Leonardtown and the Jets program, we have close to 30 girls or more that are playing in college. It's going and seeing every one of them play at the next level. So it's just the satisfaction of seeing them succeed, and get to do what they want to do and play at the next level, and get to the college that they want to get to by using lacrosse. And, that's what's the whole fun thing about it is, seeing them succeed. Absolutely. As I mentioned at the beginning of the program, passion. That's what this is all about. Having something inside of you that is such a big passion, being willing to share it with others, coach, train, and lead only for the love of what is accomplished on the playing field. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about what lacrosse is like in St. Mary's County and talk a little bit more about you. We'll see what it is that makes you tick and makes you share your passion so much. We'll have more of GAB with ALisa Profiles as we profile Ken Mcillhenney and girls lacrosse in St. Mary's County. We'll be back in just a moment. You're watching MetroCast Channel
10. It's a growing problem in our community, and you probably know somebody who's been affected. It's the scourge of pills and heroin. Between 2012 and 2013, heroin investigations by the Sheriff's Department has increased by 58%. And pills, such as Percocet, Oxycodone, Oxycontin, Vicodin, and Hydrocodone are often abused, winding up in the hands of our youth. Now's the time to address the problem. Parents, talk openly to your kids about the dangers of abusing and misusing heroin and pills. Though they may think otherwise, we know that they are not invincible. Parents, you are the anti-drug.
You're watching GAB with ALisa Profiles on MetroCast Channel 10. In the course of my career, my job, and living in the community, I get to meet people that do really unusual things. But the funny thing is they don't think that what they're doing is all that unusual. And I like to come at things with an eye looking for people that are special just because they're doing what they love, which is the reason we're profiling you. I've gotten to watch girls lacrosse just really grow and explode in St. Mary's County over the course of the last 10, 15 years, and you have a lot to do with that. You coach at Leonardtown, you're the girls' varsity head coach, having worked your way up, but there is also a club league, the Jets.
Yes.
And you've really been instrumental with that. Let's talk a little bit about the Jets.
The Jets started, I think it was back in '05. Basically, Pam Hageman, who was the chairman of the St. Mary's Girls Lacrosse League, had gotten some parents that were interested in forming a club team because they were soccer club players and parents and different things like that. So it was at and she was the head referee for our area. I wasn't coaching at the time. She observed me as a JV coach. I guess she liked what I was doing, my demeanor and things like that. So basically, at a Ducks Unlimited banquet, she got me aside and said, "Hey, are you interested in being we're thinking about forming a club program, and are you interested in leading it?" So I sat down and talked to my wife, and we kind of talked about it. I got a little bit more ideas from her on what it was about, because at that time, really, the club programs in the country or on the eastern seaboard were still very new too, in their infancy stages. So I kind of said, okay, yeah, let's give it a shot. So we went and we gave it a shot. We formed a team. We had one team for Jets at that time, and it was made up of girls of, I think it was 5 high school graduation years. So they spanned the gamut of quite an age group, 5-year difference. And then we started playing in some of the tournaments on the East Coast. We lost probably every game, I think we did at the beginning, but the girls all had a great time. They learned a lot. They enjoyed it. It didn't matter whether we won or lost. It was just the experience to be there and to see other lacrosse, see better lacrosse. Since that time, we've grown. So at that time, we were, had about 25 girls. And now with one team, and now we're up to 4 teams with about 100 girls that are playing. 2 or 3 coaches on each team. The coaches are high school coaches from the area, from SMAC. We have Huntingtown, we have Calvert, we have St. Mary's Riken, again, Leonardtown. So we try to get the best coaches that we can from the area to coach the girls. And we continue to go to about 5 or 6 tournaments in the summer that are highly viewed by the college coaches because they're huge recruiting events. And then we do about 3 tournaments in the fall for the same thing. And I'm happy to say, Jets, we've got close to 30 girls now that we've coached and that we've brought along that are playing in college. Out of those 30, we've got 4 of them that are now college coaches, assistant coaches at universities. So it's really been a big success, and I think it's great. And I know all the coaches that we have, that I have coaching for me and the program, they all love it, they enjoy it. Many of them are parents, but we do have some that don't have kids on the teams that are doing it, because they love the game also. And we're bringing back the college students that are coming back and being mentors to the girls, to guide them through the recruiting process and things like that too. So it's not only, helping the girls get better, it's mentoring our girls that we've put through college or that are going through college and playing in college and having them come back and give to the community also.
You absolutely just blew me out of the water. You've 30 girls that you've sent to college. 4 of them have become coaches. Many of them come back and mentor. That is perfection. As far as I'm concerned, that is taking something you love and paying it forward, and then having it circle back. I think that is absolutely just more than words can bear, saying amazing for the opportunities it provides for our community. If some girl is watching this program right now and she's never played lacrosse, but she says, ooh, that might be interesting. It is a sport of finesse, and you have to be quick-footed, but do you think lacrosse is an easy game to learn to play?
It's not a hard game to learn to play. I think you just have to be dedicated to it.
Okay.
You just can't put in your time at practices, and different things like that.
Okay.
What you need to do is put in your own time. If you have good hand-eye coordination, if you're a good athlete, if you're quick, if you like to run, if you like to stay in shape, then it's a great sport. And then you can do it with by yourself up against a wall or with a friend practicing, but you got to put in the time. And if you put in the time, you can become a good player very rapidly. We've had several girls that started as 8th or 9th graders and then have gone on to play in college. But they're the ones that have dedicated themselves to the game and just really put it all forward to, I want to be a lacrosse player, and that's what they've done, and they've succeeded.
This is what I want to do.
Yep.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question about being a coach of girls. You played on boys teams, obviously, and you did that whole line. Coaching girls can really open up a lot of doors for them. What is it like to coach girls from your perspective, and what would you say to a young lady that's watching about athletics in general?
Well, I get coaching girls is different, that's for sure. I mean, you have to, I guess you just can't be mean, you know, you can't yell at them, you know, you don't want to beat them up, you know, or anything like that. So basically you want to try to you have to try to get into their heads a little bit and understand what they're thinking, you know, and what they want to do. They're more, you know, I guess you have to do a little more team bonding sort of stuff for them all to get along, you know, and not have any drama on the team, and things like that. So it's a lot more team building events, a lot more, you know, talking to them, you know, trying to just get them to do what we'd like them to do, and then get them to just get along with everybody, you know, and come together as a team. That's the important thing for them. So it's fun, it's challenging, you know, it took a little while to learn, you know, just how to interact, but, you know, having, you know, some of the other coaches on the teams that have daughters, you know, that was, you know, learn that a little bit from them, and how to be a parent, kind of, and how to, you know, get them aside and talk to them and, you know, lead them in the right direction, you know. So that's the big thing, is to really try to mentor and lead them in the right direction, to do the right things, you know, to be a good player on the field, to be a good person on the field, and things like that.
To be able to rise to the level of collegiate athletics, because you have to be competitive and you have to be secure in your mind and in your abilities to really get out on the field and do what you need to do.
Yeah, I mean, bottom line is what we want the girls to be. We want to be good students, number one, because if you're not a good student, you know, then you're not going to be really, to me, a good player on the field either. You know, so you got to be a well-rounded player, good student on the field. We like to encourage multi-sport athletes too. Girls that are playing not only, you know, if they play lacrosse in the spring, you know, they're playing basketball, or they're running, doing an indoor track in the winter, and in the fall they're either doing soccer, cross country, field hockey, something like that. You know, so that way they're a well-rounded athlete. They're always doing something. They're staying in shape, and then, you know, continuing to support their high school and things like that. You know, again, you know, we want them to listen to us. You know, we want them to listen to us, be a team player, to get along with their fellow athletes, you know, and you know, do what they need to do. And then at the same time, listen to us as coaches. You know, be coachable. You know, if we try to tell them to do something, do something. If they don't understand what we're saying, stop us, ask us questions, you know, because we'll be glad to, you know, especially at the JV level or at the Jets level, when we're playing with younger girls, you know, they may not understand what we're saying. And if they don't stop us and ask us, you know, then we don't know that. So that's why they've got to stop us and, hey, I don't understand that, Coach Mack, and off we go and tell them, and then we get it together, and then, you know, come together more as a team.
Well, I think you must be doing something right. 2009 All-County and SMAC Coach of the Year, 2010 Coach of the Year, 2011 Coach of the Year, 2012 Coach of the Year, 2013 Coach of the Year. That's
all because of the girls. It's not me. You know, they're the ones that are doing the performance on the field and working hard for us. You know, so it's all because of them.
Wonderful. Well, I understand that you've got another really big prize, a really big award. That's something else that's passionate, near and dear to your heart. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about that as we continue to profile Coach Ken Mcillhenney and St. Mary's Girls Lacrosse. It's really doing great things, already having sent 30 of your girls to college.
From the Tri-County area.
From the Tri-County area. That's phenomenal. We'll come back in just a moment. You're watching GAB with ALisa Profiles on MetroCast Channel 10.
Being your best is all about how you feel inside and out. If you feel good, you look good. Hi, I'm Dawn Campbell. Join me on MetroCast Channel 10 for Be Your Best. I'll show you creative ways to dress for success, give you quick health and fitness tips, and daily ideas for living the life you were meant to live. Be Your Best airs weekdays exclusively on MetroCast Channel 10 and is brought to you by Fitz Auto Mall.
You're watching MetroCast Channel 10 GAB with ALisa Profiles. Thanks for coming back. Our profile today is Ken Mcillhenney, who is the head coach of girls lacrosse at Leonardtown High School. But the reason we are profiling you is because of your passionate love for the sport and all that you and honestly your wife have done to support girls lacrosse in St. Mary's County. I know that you've spent a lot of time, you've sacrificed a lot of days and hours, finances and what have you. Your wife is a photographer. You guys just have done great things for lacrosse. I wanted to ask you about an article which I saw recently about the face of lacrosse in Southern Maryland changing a little bit, possibly opening up to competition outside of SMAC in order to make the sport more competitive, I guess. What are your thoughts about that?
Right now in SMAC we're allowed 14 games. 12 of the games are played against local SMAC teams, in Charles, St. Mary's, and Calvert County. We're allowed a tournament outside, which we can go compete with teams from Anne Arundel County, Virginia, different things like that. One of the proposals that was put forward by the boys and the girls coaches was to possibly open that up a little bit more and give us some more out-of-conference games, or add more conference games and more out-of-conference games to our schedules. It would be good if we could play additional teams outside of our conference. I think it would be more competitive for us, and at the same time I think it would be more competitive for some of the other teams that are having a little bit harder time, because I think they can get outside and play some teams that would be more competitive for them, and let them see some other competition in the Maryland area, Virginia area. So if they do something like that, if our SMAC leadership and our superintendents decide to do that, I know I fully support it.
Okay, so the possibilities are endless. Now, what you continue to do is in the community, we're obviously talking to you as the coach from Leonardtown, but you also are the director for the Jets,
yes,
and a coach as well. So that's a club level team. We have recreational lacrosse as well, and that's another way to really build competitive skills.
Yeah, our Jets program, we're made up, but we have open tryouts that are open to basically anybody in Maryland. I mean, if Anne Arundel County kids wanted to come down and try out, they could. But generally speaking, we get girls from Charles County, Calvert County, and St. Mary's County. So all the girls come together, we try out. I think right now our team, I don't know the total numbers of our demographics from each one of the counties, but I know we have girls from at least 2/3 of the high schools that are playing on our high school teams, and well represented from middle school and elementary schools from all the counties. And again, our coaches are from Calvert County, our coaches are St. Mary's County, and I think we're trying to get, and we also do have someone from Charles County that's helping coach the program too. So what we're trying to do with the Jets program is make lacrosse better in Southern Maryland, so that we can be more competitive, not only at the high school level and the Parks and Rec level, but at the club level. That'll give us more recognition with the college coaches, to get those girls that want to play at the next level the opportunity to get there.
Well, one of the things I think that you're really well known for is being unashamedly competitive. You're all about competition, you're all about winning, you're all about being better today than you were yesterday and better tomorrow than you are today. And one of the things that you have also encouraged the girls is not only competitive but sportsmanship, because there's a big difference between just going out to win for the sake of winning, but also being sportsmanlike.
Yes.
Advice for parents watching that want to get their girls involved in sports with an eye on college athletics?
Yeah, I mean, for what we want to do is, I'd love to see every one of my girls go on and play at the next level, if that's what they want to do. But bottom line is, what we try to teach them on the Jets and at the Leonardtown High School is be a good student, again, be a sport athlete, use lacrosse, to get you to the school that you want to go to, and that's what I did at Navy. I mean, basically I knew I wanted to go to the Navy or one of the service academies, lacrosse got me recruited there. Bottom line is, when I didn't make the team anymore, did I care? No. I mean, I was at the school I wanted to be at, to continue on doing what I wanted to do. So that's what we try to instill in the girls is use lacrosse, to get you that early acceptance to a college. Use lacrosse to get you some additional athletic money, for scholarships. Use the good grades that you're getting, to get the scholarship money, that'll help you play. And then go to a school that you can play at, rather than just, or understand that, if you go to a school that's way up here a little bit above maybe your level, that hey, you might have to do your time before you get on the field and really play a lot, or do you want to play a lot right off the bat and start as a freshman? I mean, a great example is Caitlin Blondino, who was a very good player for us, went to go play at Salisbury. She played all 4 years at Salisbury, basically as a junior. They won the national championship. She didn't play a whole lot because she was doing her time as a freshman, sophomore, junior, and then this year as a senior, she was a starter for them. So she's got 2 national championships as a Division III player, and it's a great success story for her to watch her as she progressed through her career, doing her time and working hard for that coach and for that team, and for her players, and supporting them to finally, as a senior, get there on the field and do it.
She had a goal in mind. Yep. She was able to reach it.
Yes,
well, one thing that you encourage is for people to branch out, be wider than just this circle. Mm-hmm. You talk about multi-sports and what have you. So I understand you're quite the outdoorsman. Let's talk about you for just a minute. We just have a little bit of time left. You're quite the fisherman and outdoorsman, and you have a record-breaking catch in your past history?
A long time ago, I guess 1988, and when I was in Florida, they didn't have lacrosse down in Pensacola when I was stationed down there. Okay. So my passion was fishing and offshore fishing, and so I had a 20-foot wellcraft boat, and I used to fish in a lot of tournaments down there, billfish tournaments for marlin. And one year, we ended up catching a 730-pound blue marlin, which is still a continental U.S. record for a small boat.
Really?
Yeah, so it was a big fish.
Did you mount it?
Yes, I have the head in my garage, yes.
Okay, that is incredible. 700 with a fishing pole?
Yeah, rod and reel, about 2.5 hours.
I was going to ask, how long did it take?
Yeah, 2.5 hours, and normally nowadays we don't really kill them. We release them,
okay,
but this one we did kill because it was a tournament, and it was long ago when we didn't know as much about the fish, but nowadays we're releasing most of the fish so they can continue on. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It sounds like a lot of fun. That would be incredible. I cannot imagine. But 2.5 hours. How long was it before you could move your arms again after that?
It took a little while.
I bet it did. Well, I wanted to thank you for coming in. You were another one of my guests that I had to cajole to come in and talk about yourself, what you do for the community, people that are standing on the outside, look and recognize that you're giving girls a really big opportunity. Like I said, as a mom of 3 daughters, I recognize opportunities that are put before our girls and am appreciative of that and the expertise and experience that you share. And we wish you the best as you continue to go forward with your lacrosse and the girls in St. Mary's County.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks so much for joining us on GAB with ALisa Profiles as we've talked to Coach Ken Mcillhenney and learned more about lacrosse in general and girls lacrosse in St. Mary's County and also the SMAC region. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time. You're watching GAB with ALisa on MetroCast Channel 10.